All right. Hello, Facebook Live. Not my comfort zone. Don't like going live. I like pre-recorded videos that I can edit. But I'm going live today because I want to kick out a challenge to a bunch of you. And this is in reference to a post I did a couple of weeks ago when this whole thing was getting rolling. And it's something that I do really consistently with a group of friends, but I think the message doesn't get out there as well enough on a pithy post. So I'm going to put this together in a live video, maybe a couple over the couple of days, because I really think there's some power behind it that we're missing, especially when we're disconnected like this. And what I'm talking about is being able to grab a group together and give your brain what it needs. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm seeing a lot of people get together, whether it's, I think I saw some people get together recently having dinner. They all dressed up and connected. Those are awesome. Like those connections we're missing right now. But there's a couple of fundamental things that we're missing when we go, number one, remote, but when there's this level of uncertainty in the environment. And these are things that our brains need desperately. And two of those are, right? The one biggest thing is what's in our control. Because right now everything feels outside of our control, like we're waiting on numbers that somebody else is going to provide, or we're waiting for when we can go back to work, and that's all stuff out of our control. And so what happens is our brain loses that connection to what we call, psychologists call locus of control. That internal locus of control is life-giving. It's one of the biggest things that separated POW survivors, is their ability to identify what's in their control in that situation. And so control is the biggest thing. The second piece is we're getting inundated with news, good and bad. And I can tell you that your brain is looking for the bad news automatically, without a doubt, right? And so looking for things that might be going well is something you actually consciously have to do. So this goes back to the groups, right? And what I'm challenging people to do, what I'd love to see some people do, get back with me, maybe send me a message, let me know when it's happening and how you're doing it. And I'll even offer up for free in any time in the next 2 weeks. If you want to put a group together and you want me to jump on to help you outline it for your group, I'm happy to do that as well. And it's, again, very simple. You get 4 to 6 people. You don't want too many more than that because everybody needs a chance to talk. And you schedule about an hour. Sometimes ours takes an hour and a half because we're relatively long-winded. But you take an hour, and the only thing y'all can talk about in that hour is what's going well, right? There's really two things: what's going well and what you did specifically. Like, what did I do in the last week? And for a lot of people that may have been laid off or something bad happened this week, what you did well in the last week could be, I slept for 12 hours. Right? It could be, I got up and I didn't want to just sit in the corner of the room and cry or something like those. But you have to identify those. And it's super important for your brain to identify them. Otherwise, again, it's only looking for the bad stuff that is out there, right? It's only looking for where the bear is. Your limbic system is designed to watch out for bears, period, nothing else. And so here, there's bears everywhere. And so it's much harder for it to be able to see what is going well. And this is where other people can do a better job than you can, quite frankly. Like, it's super important for you to be able to remind yourself, but if you can use your network to have this 1 hour where each of you say, here's what's going well for me, here's what I did, here's what I'm proud of what I did in the last week. And it's a dual kind of improvement thing, because not only do you get to say that, but they get to hear it. And if you're in the listening chair, the other thing your brain really wants right now is something to do. And you have these 3 other people on the call, maybe 4 other people on the call, and you can be hyper focused on, boy, what is it that I see Aaron and Chad and Alyssa are here. So if this was my call, I could be really keen on, okay, what is going well in Aaron's life right now? And I can record those. And so next week I can help remind her of those. Or I can listen, here's the things you're doing. And then next week you explain, here's the things I'm doing. And the other people can say, wow, here's the progression, because you won't catch it. right? So oftentimes when like we're having to restart a lot of stuff, it's really hard to see incremental progress rather in ourselves, but it's much easier to see it in somebody else. And so leveraging these groups of 4 people to say, okay, yes, I saw you were here and now you're here. This happens in our working environments or team environments almost naturally, right? When you go to work, you have data that is tracking what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, and we rely on that data for predictability. Well, now you've removed the data because you're away, and these groups can help provide that data, can help kind of reinforce those systems. And so the challenge here is, if you can put one of these together, right, reach out to me, let me know when you've done it, how it went, and I'd love to provide more information on this if you find it beneficial. There's loads of psychology and neuroscience behind this need for connection, but don't just make it about the connection that's having a beer or having dinner together, those sorts of things. Those are great. But we have to create the structures that we're missing right now, and not being able to get to be together physically. We have to create those more purposefully. Otherwise, we can find ourselves feeling like there's nothing I control, nothing I can do about that, and that's a really tough space. So hopefully this is a beneficial use of the Facebook Live. Feel free to kick out any questions. I'm going to try to do a couple of these where we jump down more in the science, and I'd rather have it led by people kind of asking questions. So if there's any questions on it, how to run the group, how to be a part, I would like to use these to highlight groups that are happening out there. But if we can get 4 people at a time to provide that support to each other, right? Like that's just going to increase the amount of people that are able to get through this better, and more importantly, to end up better on the other side. Hopefully it's beneficial. Have a good day.